Get ready for the big revival, the real estate revival, that is. Now on 77 WABC, your New York weekend.
Get ready for the big revival.
It's Rand on Real Estate. Look out! With Greg Rand.
Welcome to Rand on Real Estate. This is Greg Rand, your host on 77 WABC and WABCRadio.com. I'm here at the Small Business Authority Studios in Midtown Manhattan with Laura Smith, my co-host. How are you?
Hey, it's great to be here once again. Thank you.
Glad to have you. We have a great show on tap for you today. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things. We're going to make sense of some conflicting headlines that you might have caught in the media in the last couple of days, and I'm going to help you parse through those things so that you can get a sense. You know, it's very important to us here that you understand the housing market, so the people who don't understand it but seem to get a lot of ink and a lot of FaceTime on TV don't throw off your game and blow your confidence. We're going to show you how to pick a winner today. One of the things that I specialize in is looking at this national real estate marketplace, the way that a hedge fund manager or a mutual fund manager might look at all the stocks on the stock exchange and pick the winners, figure out what is the right balance, the right mix, the right kind of investment for you. And we're going to kind of zigzag around the country a bit today and show you how there's something for everybody out there in the American housing market. If you want to build wealth, if you want to be a real estate entrepreneur, we're going to talk a lot about that. We're going to have an expert on the air with us from Long Beach, California. I promise you we'll be zigzagging across the country. So we're going to start on the West Coast. And, you know, we're here in New York. Most of our listeners are going to be here in the New York metro area. Hopefully there's a few folks out there that are listening to us on the internet. And if you are, wherever you're calling from or wherever you're listening from, give us a call at 800-848-WABC. That's 800-848-9222. And here's the question I want you to think about and then give us a call. Where around the country would you want to look to pick a winner? You see, professional investors in real estate, they don't pick properties first. They don't run out there and see a property and decide to buy it. They first identify a market that they think is going to be on the upswing, a place where they believe over the next number of years the trending is positive. And so first they pick the geography, and then they focus on finding an ugly duckling within that marketplace. So today we're going to focus on picking winners and in the context of market. So we're going to talk about Long Beach, but then I want you to call and let me know where you have your eyes fixed. Are there any places around the country or even locally that you are thinking about or that you'd like me to analyze for you? And I'm going to show you basically a 5-minute market analysis, some tools that are available to you out there on the internet. I'll show you where to go and get them. And it's really, really fun because basically, you know, look, there's never been a better time to be a research analyst in any subject out there. With the internet and the powerful tools available to you, I'll show you where to find them, and we'll show you how to go out there and do a couple of different little scratching of the surface and uncover some gold mines that are maybe hiding right there in plain sight. We're going to focus again today on the 5 principles of real estate wealth. I got a great response from this after the last show. You know, people, they call the show, but they also call me and email me. They go to my website, which is ownamerica.com, because I want you to own as much of America as you can. And they email me, and my email address is greg@ownamerica.com. And they like when I get into the meat and potatoes. Okay, that's the thing. The message that I'm getting from people who hear this show is give us more of the specifics, Greg. Tell us again, you know, if you get to know me, what you check me out, you're going to find that I sort of have the Midas touch when it comes to picking winning real estate investments. And that's why I've dedicated my entire career to this, because I'm not good at anything else, but I'm good at this. So we're going to show you how I go about it and the 5 principles of real estate wealth. We're going to get on to principle number 4, which I'm going to tease you with right now. And I'll get back into that in some more detail in a couple of minutes. So it's going to be a fun hour. We're going to take a lot of calls. We're going to answer your questions. And hopefully what we're going to do is kind of light your candle a little bit here. You know, we've all gotten just abused by this recession and this housing crisis over the last couple of years. And it just keeps seeming to get uglier and nastier and worse. But you see, I see past that, all this. I know this asset class like the back of my hand, and I know that you have to look at it in 10-year chunks. You can't, if you stare at your toes, you're never going to see the trends. And if you're staring down at your toes right now, all you see are things like the headlines this week, for example. My buddies over at Zillow.com, who are mad at me right now because I went on a tirade on the blogosphere about their press release this week. Zillow is a website that has some fantastic analytics and great national inventory of properties, a wicked iPad app, a really good website. But they have their head on sideways when it comes to analyzing the housing market. And I think what I wrote on the blog was Zillow is the new Shiller. And if you listen to this show, you know that I can't stand the Case-Shiller Index. I can't stand, I don't want to say too, I don't even know Dr. Robert Shiller, but I think he's a villain when it comes to the housing market because these are people who have made a name for themselves by scaring everybody beyond the reasonable. Don't just report the numbers, but trump them up and skew all your research to make it look as bad as possible. Well, Zillow has got an IPO coming up, and Zillow took a cue from Dr. Shiller and has gotten a PR bonanza going on right now precisely because they have figured out ways to take their regular press releases and skew them to the negative. Case in point, maybe you caught a headline in the last couple of days that said that 28% of all households are underwater right now. Okay, it was picked up on every TV station, every newspaper. 28% of all the homeowners in America are underwater on their mortgage, meaning they owe more on the loan than the house is actually worth. Lousy place to be, no doubt about it. Two problems with that. One, it's not 28% of all homeowners. It's 28% of all homeowners with a mortgage. Sounds like a small distinction, but it's not because 30% of all homeowners don't have any mortgage at all. So it actually turns out still a big number. It's about 16 or 17% of all homeowners in general are underwater, but it's a big difference. And the catastrophic nature of convincing people that 1 in 4 of your neighbors owe more than their home is worth, Zillow put the press release out correct. They said 28% of people with mortgages are underwater, but nobody paid attention to that little minor detail. And they put this information out there, and they're scaring a lot of people into thinking that we've got not a correction that we're processing right now, but some kind of long-term sustained meltdown of the housing market. And I'm here to tell you that is not what's happening. In fact, we're at a place right now where we're about to find the bottom in the next year. You know, if you're the kind of person who wants to know what's going to happen tomorrow, you're just going to get frustrated by me. And you're going to get frustrated by this show because I keep talking about, like, now is 2011, 2012. That's now. Real estate moves kind of in geological time. Everything moves slowly. It's a big, slow-moving ship. And if you want to turn it, it's not going to happen overnight. If you look past the next 2 years, what you can see is the market, when it bottoms out, is going to sit there for a while. Okay? After a period of volatility like we've had for the last couple of years, it just takes a deep breath, the housing market, and it quiets down. Same thing happened at the end of the 1980s. We had a run-up in prices. We had a big, ugly correction at the end of the decade. We had a big bank bailout. We had a big stock market crash. All those things. Then, after the market settled, it just sat there for the better part of the 1990s, and it didn't budge. But if you waited the full decade, then you saw the revival at the end of the tunnel there. So that's where we are right now. When you hear people talking about how the housing market's in the tank, the answer is yes, it is. Okay, so what's your plan? My plan is to buy real estate while it's in the tank because maybe you've heard the term buy low, sell high, right? That's kind of a common phrase. People understand that. But I have to ask you, what do you think it feels like to buy low? This is what it feels like. It's lonely and it's scary, and you might be the only person doing it, but when everybody looks back in 10 years and sees the kind of wisdom and courage and fortitude that you showed when everybody knew the market was at the bottom, but they were too chicken to do anything about it, we're here to encourage you that if you have the wherewithal, we're going to show you how to do it right, and we're going to try to get you to get off the sidelines and make a decision that could be a life changer for you. It's not going to change your life tomorrow, but it's darn well going to change your life in 10 years when you've built wealth. I'm all about creating real estate millionaires here. That's my dream, okay? I want to create 1 million millionaires on the other end of this housing crisis. So give us a call, 800-848-9222. Tell us what market you've got your eye on. Visit me at ownamerica.com. Email me at greg@ownamerica.com. And let's figure out a way to get you to put your money to work and create financial abundance for your future. You're listening to Rand on Real Estate on 77 WABC. Back in 2 minutes.